in a world that we're living in right now, where mental health, it's like every little thing that is done. Oh, I got a headache. It's mental health. Oh, I'm not, I woke up. I don't feel like going to work today. I'm depressed. Oh my God. I'm a little nervous. I have anxiety. He's a narcissist. I've been waiting for this video from this particular therapist, and this is my first time seeing her, but I've been waiting for her for a very long time. So let's take a look at this, and y'all tell me what y'all thoughts are.
Me, but I thought that maybe it's just me, but I thought that the goal was to create awareness, to normalize seeking help, to make therapy accessible, to remove the shame around mental health struggles. But somewhere along the way, destigmatizing mental health has taken on a life of its own. And now, instead of people getting better, I just feel like people are getting worse. We didn't just normalize therapy. We've turned it into a personality trait. We didn't just encourage self-awareness. We turned every feeling into a diagnosis. And instead of using mental health language as a tool, we've started using it as a shield, justifying avoidance, self-sabotage, and emotional fragility in the name of protection. Now everything is a trigger. Everything is trauma. People say, I can't do this. It's bad for my mental health. When what they really mean is, this is hard and I don't want to deal with it. But since when did mental health become about avoiding life instead of learning how to handle it? Good mental health isn't about comfort. It's about capacity. It's about having the emotional, the psychological, and the cognitive range to handle life as it comes. Not just when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. Your mental health should be challenged, because if your mental health can't withstand stress, discomfort, or uncertainty, then you don't have mental strength. You have emotional dependence based on the right circumstances. And life does not care about your circumstances. And I'm serious, y'all. Like, really, ask yourself, has your mental health journey actually made you stronger, or has it made you retreat further into protecting yourself in the name of good mental health?
Translation: fuck your feelings. And I don't mean really F your feelings, but I just said it to trigger y'all a little bit. All joking aside, I think that when it comes to mental health, I agree with everything that she just said. Let me say that. And of course, I wanted to play the whole video through before we then go down and break down different things that she mentioned, because obviously I can't recall everything. But exactly what she said, even when she said that your mental health should be challenged, think about every other aspect of anything that we do in life. Matter of fact, think about our physical health. If it's not challenged, then you don't get better, you don't get stronger. But right now, could you imagine if we were working out, we're trying to get stronger. Let's say the goal is to get stronger, right? Obviously, the goal is not to get weaker. If you go to the gym and you're lifting weights, or if you're running, whatever it is that you're trying to do, you're trying to run a marathon, whatever it is, you go there and you start working out, and before things get challenging, you bow out to comfort. You're like, whoa, this is getting ready to get challenging. I want to be comfortable. I don't want to be challenged. That is how we approach mental health. The smallest things, it's triggering, this is that. And all it does is, it in my opinion, it gives us a nice, comfortable pillow to lay on, to feel good about, or excuse, I should say, us feeling the need to do something or to challenge ourselves, and us to kind of bow out and just say, oh, I'm just feeling a little depressed, or I'm anxious, or I'm all these things. These are the things that you should be feeling. And we talked about it the other day, where it's like growth only comes from a place when you get outside of your comfort zone. So what I believe, in my opinion, and of course, it's like anything else, where this is not all mental health, but it's like a lot of the woke ideologies. It's like, oh, this thing started off as just like, hey, let's stop picking on gay people. And then it just morphed into what we now know as all these woke ideologies, LGBTQ, drag queens. I don't need to name them all. because it's like an extreme reaction to something rather than finding more of a balanced approach to deal with something. We just get real and real extreme. And I think it's a blend of laziness. I think it's a blend of selfishness. I think there's also an aspect of there's a lot of profit in mental health. It's a lot of profit, and it's not just the money profit, but there's also, I think people feel very rewarding and when they take on this victim role and when everybody can talk about their struggles that they've gone through, because what it does is a lot of people, in my opinion, they give you a lot of grace. They'll give you comfort. They'll pat you on your back. They'll give you a nice hug. And people are addicted to those feelings. So therefore, they just lean more and more into it. They lean more and more into it when in all actuality, what we call mental health right now, in my opinion, what we call depression, what we call anxiety, could you imagine 100 years ago, 50 years ago, our grandparents saying, oh, I don't know. I just feel a little stressed today. Like, I'm just not happy. I just didn't wake up feeling my happiest. So, maybe I should go see a doctor. Maybe I'm depressed. This is exactly what the saying of the cycle, where it's hard times create strong men create easy times create weak men create hard times. This is exactly what's happening. Now we have a culture that cannot work through any types of problems, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a personal problem, anything. We can't work through things because we're so accustomed to going to the gym and never challenging ourselves. We do the weight that's easy. Oh, we're going to do the 5 pounds. Wait, I'm not going to do the 10 pounds. That actually strains my muscle. The goal is to strain your muscle, so therefore you can get stronger and know how to deal with that weight or know how to deal with that situation in the future and be able to take on even bigger situations or bigger weight. Let me make sure that I'm all right. So that's I wanted to click back in to make sure that I didn't miss any comments. But I don't know. What are y'all thoughts? We're going to listen to the video again, but I just see this as one of those things where across the board, I think doctors are taking advantage of it. I think individuals are taking advantage of it because they want to be pacified. They want to embrace this victimhood for attention and for a whole bunch of other things. Like, yeah, people actually go through stuff, but because we are so sensitive to paying attention to, well, what are my triggers? What are the things that are bothering me? Why did I wake up today and I just didn't feel my happiest? So what? Go get something done. Go achieve something. Go push yourself. And then maybe you'll feel better about things. Who's to say that you're just supposed to be walking around being completely happy? And when you convince people that they are supposed to, when you set the bar and say, you're supposed to be happy. If you're not waking up every day feeling your happiest, then something's wrong with you. Then of course people now are going to lean into it. Of course people now are going to embrace that victim mentality because you set the bar and said, oh, you're babying them, you're coddling them. And it's not, and it goes back to the last video with Dank Demal. She's never going to change because everything is about accommodation rather than challenging her to lose weight. Let's listen to the video again. And then we got a couple other videos on the similar topic.
Maybe it's just me, but I thought that the goal was to create awareness, to, normalize seeking help, to make therapy accessible, to remove the shame around mental health struggles. But somewhere along the way, destigmatizing mental health has taken on a life of its own. And now, instead of people getting better, I just feel like people are getting worse. We didn't just normalize therapy. We've turned it into a personality trait. We didn't just encourage self-awareness. We turned every feeling into a diagnosis. And instead of using mental health language as a tool, we've started using it as a shield, justifying avoidance, self-sabotage, and emotional fragility in the name of protection. Now,
emotional fragility. Perhaps this is one of the reasons why we can't deal with certain things that come up. We can't deal with certain challenges in our life. It's almost like how do you expect somebody to handle a heavy weight if they're so used to just lifting lightweight? It's just common sense, but for whatever reason, it doesn't seem to be commonly accepted across the board. And I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Actually, I do understand it, but I just don't understand why we continue to buy into it. Maybe I understand that as well, though. I just wish that we didn't.
Now everything is a trigger. Everything is trauma. People say, I can't do this. It's bad for my mental health. When what they really mean is, this is hard and I don't want to deal with it.
This is why I get so turned off with therapy. To each their own. I'm not against therapy, but let me be very clear. This is why I get so turned off by therapists. I think therapy is very good. You know what? I like therapy. I want to be able to call my bros, call my brother, call my dad and say, hey, man, I'm dealing with this. And I want them to be able to be like, bro, man, you sounded like, get your shit together. You built for this. Everything ain't supposed to be all shiny and new and happy all the time. Figure it out. You built for it. You play ball, right? You got challenged, right? Every game wasn't a good game, right? So figure your shit out. That's the type of therapy that I think would yield better results, especially when it comes to men. Ladies, I'll let y'all speak for yourselves. And this is why I always say that they've pushed a very feminine form of therapy and they've blanketed to where the same type of therapy they'll provide a woman, they're pushing that therapy on a man. And we're two totally different individuals, in my opinion. Two totally different individuals. Me, when I feel my best, and maybe this isn't the same for everybody, when I feel my best is when I have a purpose and when I have a challenge that I'm working towards. That's when I'm feeling my happiest. That's when I'm feeling my most purposeful. When my value is feeling amazing. Even if it does bring about some anxiety, even if it does bring about some nervousness, before every game, literally, I would physically, I would feel almost sick to my stomach before every single game. Every game. To the point where it's like, if I wasn't feeling that, I'm like, damn, what's wrong? Now we're the opposite. It's like, yo, I don't know. But I think that therapy, let me be very clear. When it comes to therapists and professional therapists, for one, just like these doctors, how they want to sell you on a particular procedure because they make money off that procedure. With a therapist, what do you think they make more money? If they see you one time and fix your problem and tell you like, yo, you don't have an issue. Your problem is you're just lazy. That's your issue. Your problem is your problem is you can't take on challenges because you've been babied and spoiled your whole life. You don't need to come see me. You need to just start working. You don't need to come sit on my chair or sit on Zoom with me and try to connect what happened when I was 2 years old to now I'm 30 and I'm still, my 2-year-old self is holding me back from assuming responsibility and growing into the 35-year-old that I want to become. But when I say these type of things, I'm the outlier. I'm the asshole because this is where society has gone. And this is what we now accept as mental health. Because everybody's being babied. It's like, yo, I could not even imagine what life would be like if I didn't play sports. I'm so thankful. And maybe I've always said that I will not allow hopefully my future son, no, that's not would, but whatever. My future son to play football. Maybe I will let my son play football. Maybe that risk that comes with it is worth it because it's going to instill certain principles and values in him. Maybe he should get out there on the field and do something dangerous. I don't know, because if you're just living in this world right now, probably not going to get it. You're probably not going to get it. And then he's going to have to compete with other cultures that are way more mentally tough. And it's like I'm throwing him to the wolves, throwing him in the ocean with the sharks. And I didn't even teach him how to swim. I didn't equip him with anything to protect himself. And it's not just with the men, it's with the ladies as well. Every little thing. That's why every woman, oh, this guy's a narcissist. Oh, I can't do. It's like, damn. Let's keep going.
But Since when did mental health become about avoiding life instead of learning how to handle it? Good mental health isn't about comfort. It's about capacity. It's about having the emotional, the psychological, and the cognitive range to handle life as it comes.
And Eb, I saw your comment. So Eb said, some folks don't have family and friends, but that would be ideal. Find them. Find them. We on Instagram, X. We got access to more people now than we've ever had on this planet. Anybody, I don't care how much family you have, whatever. Anybody right now, you can find a group that you're aligned with, Eb, just like we found each other. Anybody can go on Instagram right now, and I guarantee you, especially all the other goofy stuff that we're searching, if you wanted to search for a group, if you wanted to search for a couple individuals, you can find that on Instagram, X, Facebook, whatever platform you're on. We find any and everything else. We use the internet and being able to connect with people for everything else. In my opinion, there's no excuse. You're going to have to go find a therapist. I don't know. I think now more than ever, it's the easiest time to connect with a group. If you need to find your village, then be proactive about it. Be intentional. Shoot, nowadays, all you got to do is go into an Instagram search engine or on Google and just search it, and you can find one. Oh, this group's meeting down the street. Oh, there's a group of girls. There's a group of homes. Okay, I can be a part of that. I just feel like, I don't know. It's like going to buy a car and expecting the car dealer to really tell you what's best for you, or do you think they're going to tell you what's best for the person trying to sell you something? That's how I look at a therapist. That's why I personally, just me, to each their own, I'd rather have that therapy come from somebody that I know, somebody that can hold me accountable, or somebody that at least is not incentivized to make sure that I fill out my 10 sessions rather than just trying to call me out on my stuff. And maybe it only takes 2 or 3 sessions, and maybe risk, oh, well, I told them that they need to just fix their shit. And what a therapist scared of? Well, yeah, they didn't come back after I said that, because it's a conflict of interest. Am I going to tell you exactly what you need to hear? But then I'm risking you may not signing up for your next session. So that's a conflict. That's what I call a conflict of interest. Just me, though. Just me. Eb said, yeah, the internet has been the great connector. It's here. It's here. Let's keep going. Let's finish this up.
Not just when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. Your mental health should be challenged, because if your mental health can't withstand stress, discomfort, or uncertainty, then you don't have mental strength. You have emotional dependence based on the right circumstances. And life does not care about your circumstances. And I'm serious, y'all.
Life does not care about your circumstances. Y'all know one of my favorite taglines with my coach Ray, special teams coach. I didn't even like this coach, to be honest. Well, he is cool, whatever. He's a little weird, but whatever. He gave me some of the best game that I could ever get. And he came in there and he wrote on the board, no gas. And it's nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares. Did you get your job done? Oh, no. Well, nobody cares. If you can't get it done, somebody else will. Did you work through your problems? Did you figure out the best technique to accomplish what you need to accomplish? Nobody cares. Now we can't even go through life. We seek so much validation in life right now. That's why we're so addicted to Instagram and caring about what people think about us, caring about what our family thinks about us, our friends think. Forget all that. Forget all that. Seeking all this value. It's like, I don't know. And maybe I'm being a little bit insensitive with it, but nobody gives a shit. And those same people that you're seeking validation for, when you're in trouble, they're probably not even going to be the ones that help you out anyway. I just think that if we set the bar at and challenge people, I believe that people live up to, or people will rise up to challenges. You ever heard like when you play against a better team, you rise up your game up to the competition, you raise your game up to the competition? This is how I look at this. If we keep telling people like, oh, coddling people, then they're going to have that standard. But if we say like, okay, you're anxious, okay, you're stressed, okay, you're depressed, aka just not happy today, so what? And then by you actually embracing that mindset, you're going to get up, you're going to go do things. And then at the end of the day, in my opinion, I think you'll feel a lot better about yourself and a lot prouder about yourself. And you just learn that you can overcome maybe not feeling your best to still have a productive day. And I think that's something to build on rather than the opposite, which is something to just keep crippling yourself and to make you weaker and weaker. Just my opinion, though. Let's keep going.
Oh, like really, ask yourself, has your mental health journey actually made you stronger, or has it made you retreat further into protecting yourself in the name of good mental health? Maybe
one of the reasons why a lot of people can't communicate. We have issues. It's like you can't even voice your opinion on stuff. I've had conversations with people that literally it's like you can't even talk. Like you literally are frozen to the point where you can't even talk because you're so weak mentally. It's like, damn, like what? All just my opinion, though. I'm not a health professional. I'm gonna show you a couple videos that I thought I just saw these videos all in the last week, and I just kind of thought they all connected. You